Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Wa man attaba'a hudah ila yawm ad-din. Amma ba'd. My dear brothers and sisters and dear viewers, Kitab Tawheed, chapter number 63. The protection of Allah's covenant and the protection of His Prophet's covenant. So this chapter talks about the protection of the ahd. You give something, you promise something, you have to maintain that covenant. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَوْفُوا بِعَهْدِ اللَّهِ إِذَا عَاهَدتُّمْ وَلَا تَنْقُضُوا الْأَيْمَانَ بَعْدَ تَوْكِيدِهَا وَقَدْ جَعَلْتُمُ اللَّهَ عَلَيْكُمْ كَفِيلًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَا تَفْعَلُونَ. And fulfill the covenant of Allah, the bay'ah, the pledge for Islam. When you have covenanted and break not the oaths after you have confirmed them. And indeed, you have appointed Allah your surety. Verily, Allah knows what you do. This is Surah 16, Ayah 91. So Allah is saying, وَأَوْفُوا بِعَهْدِ اللَّهِ. Fulfill the ahd of Allah, the covenant of Allah. When you have promised to do so, you undertook to do so. When you have covenanted and break not the oaths, never break the oath. وَلَا تَنْقُضُوا الْأَيْمَانِ. Don't break the oaths. After you have confirmed them, you confirm them, then you have to maintain them. وَقَدْ جَعَلْتُمُ اللَّهَ عَلَيْكُمْ كَفِيلًا. And indeed you have appointed Allah your surety, that you made Allah the witness and the wakil. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Verily Allah knows what you do. So when you promise, when you committed yourself to something, if you sign an agreement, you have to abide by that. You have to abide but whatever you sign. Buraidah radiallahu anhu narrated, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا أمر أميرا على جيش أو سرية أوصاه بتقوى الله ومن معه من المسلمين خيرا فقال اغزوا بسم الله في سبيل الله قاتلوا من كفر بالله اغزوا ولا تغلوا ولا تغدروا ولا تمثلوا ولا تقتلوا وليدا وإذا لقيت عدوك من المشركين فادعهم إلى 3 خصال أو خلال فأيتهن أجاب لك فاقبل منهم وكف عنهم ثم ادعهم إلى الإسلام فإن أجابوا لك فاقبل منهم ثم ادعهم إلى التحول من دارهم إلى دار المهاجرين وأخبرهم أنهم إن فعلوا ذلك فلهم ما للمهاجرين وعليهم ما على المهاجرين فإن أبوا أن يتحولوا منها فأخبرهم أنهم يكونون كأعراب المسلمين يجري عليهم حكم الله تعالى ولا يكون لهم في الغنيمة والفيء شيء إلا أن يجاهدوا مع المسلمين فإنهم أبوا فاسألهم الجزية فإنهم أجابوا لك فاقبل منهم وكف عنهم فإنهم أبوا فاستعن بالله وقاتلهم وإذا حاصرت أهل حصن فأرادوك أن تجعل لهم ذمة الله وذمة نبيه فلا تجعل لهم ذمة الله وذمة نبيه ولكن اجعل لهم ذمتك وذمة أصحابك فإنكم إن تخفروا ذممكم وذمة أصحابكم أهون من أن تخفروا ذمة الله وذمة نبيه وإذا حاصرت أهل حصن فأرادوك أن تنزلهم على حكم الله فلا تنزلهم ولكن أنزلهم على حكمك فإنك لا تدري أتصيب فيهم حكم الله أم لا. Whenever Allah's Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم deputed anyone as leader of an army or expedition, he admonished him to fear Allah and be good to the Muslims with him. He used to say, start fighting with the name of Allah in the cause of Allah. and fight those who disbelieve in Allah. You fight who disbelieve in Allah. You fight and do not take unduly from the booty, nor break any treaty, nor mutilate the dead bodies, nor kill the children. When you meet your enemies who are polytheists, invite them to three alternatives. If they respond to any of these positively, accept them at their words and do not continue the war anymore. Invite them to accept Islam. If they agree to accept Islam, ask them to leave their homes and migrate to the lands of Muhajirin. So you have to understand this hadith in its context. Muhajirin means to Medina. Tell them that after migration, they shall be entitled to get all the privileges and obligations of the Muhajirin, the immigrants. If they refuse to migrate, then make it clear that they will have the status of Bedouin Muslims, Arab, and shall be subjected to the commands of Allah like other Muslims. But they shall not get any share from the booty or returns of the war unless they fight on the Muslims' side. If they do not confess Islam, impose the jizya, which is the tax, on them, and if they comply with, then restrain your hands from them. But if they refuse to pay the jizya, then seek Allah's help and fight them. When you lay siege to a fort and the besieged appeal to you for protection in the name of Allah and His Prophet, do not accord them the guarantee of Allah and His Prophet, but give them the guarantee on behalf of yourself and on behalf of your companions. For it is a lesser sin that the security provided by you and your companion is disregarded than the security granted to them in the name of Allah and His Prophet. When you besiege a fort and the besieged want you to let them out in accordance with Allah's command, do not let them come out in accordance with His command, but do so at your own command. For you do not know whether or not you will be able to carry out Allah's behest with regard to them. This is a Muslim. This is a long hadith. So first of all, the Prophet ﷺ in this hadith, whenever he would send troops to fight fi sabilillah. Before we elaborate on the hadith, you have to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the owner of this kingdom. So His kingdom has to be ruled according to His own wish. For example, everything should be ruled according to His commandments because He's the owner, right? If you don't want to abide by His commandments, look for somewhere else that is not His. Look for an earth that is not Allah's and live there. But if you know that He's the owner, it's not fair to say, I don't want to abide by your rules. If you come to my company and you want to be recruited, you want to work, every company they have their own policies, right? And they tell you these are the policies. Read the contract. If you don't like them, you are at liberty, go. But the moment you accept, you have to abide by the rules. Are you following? So Allah's kingdom has to be ruled by His law, because His law is the best for all of us. That's where you enjoy the justice. That is where the guidance is. And Allah has sent this guidance to the entire human being throughout history by sending prophets and messengers. And the final guidance is Al-Islam. And we have to take this guidance and this light to the entire humanity, all mankind. We invite the people. This is the guidance, this is the light. Do you want it? Do you want it? You say, no, I don't want it. Fine, that's your choice. There's no compulsion in religion. We don't force you to accept Islam. You don't want Islam, that's your choice. You can carry on. As a matter of fact, we are obliged and obligated to protect you. You can carry on worshipping what you are worshipping. We will not interfere. We will grant you the freedom to carry on doing what you are doing in Islam. We are going to protect you and protect your property and protect your family. And you will be living under this umbrella of Islam. And you will be protected. But you have to give the jizya. You have to give something which is actually nominal. It's nothing. Because it is our duty to protect you now. And you see what? When a non-Muslim lives among the Muslims are the ones who are responsible to protect him. At the reign of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, he saw a Jew begging. He said, who's that man? They said, a Jew, Yahudi, and he's old and he's begging. Sayyidina Umar said, this is not fair. When he was young, he used to give us the tax. And now he's old, he cannot earn. We ignore him? No, I don't want him to beg. Give him from Bayt al-Mal. Give him from Bayt al-Mal. He should have honorable life. So you don't want the Islam? That is your choice. Feel free. But can you allow us to take this light to those behind you? You made your own mind. But don't decide for others. Let them decide. So let us take this light to the others. If you said, I don't mind, go. Oh, thank you. But if you say no, and you block the way, are you following? I don't want it, and I will not allow you to take it to others. Then this is not fair. Let the others decide for themselves, not you. So now you are blocking the way, and you are blocking us from taking the guidance and the light to those who are still in the dark. So what should we do? Should we give up and allow him to block us and allow the people to die in their darkness, or take the light to them? Take the light to them. That is exactly the philosophy of jihad in Islam. My dear brothers and sisters and dear viewers, stay tuned. We will be back inshallah after the break.
His messengers.
Welcome back, my dear brothers and sisters and dear viewers. We were discussing Kitab Tawheed before the break. The jihad is not there to force the people, no. It is only a means to remove any stumbling block in the way. Any stumbling block that comes in the way. So that's why the da'wah is always preceding jihad. Only you resort to it if there is a barrier. Only if there is a barrier. That's here the Prophet ﷺ is saying. Whenever he debuted anyone, because we have to send the dua, the callers, to invite the people to the light, to the guidance. So whenever the Prophet ﷺ debuted anyone as leader of any army, he would admonish the leader and tell him, fear Allah. The first thing, fear Allah. And fear Allah regarding those who are with you, the soldiers, and be good to them. Also he would say, you start fighting if there is a stumbling block, okay? Someone is blocking the way, you give him the options. You invite him to Islam, no. Second option, you can carry on, but you have to give the jizya, because this will entitle us to protect you. Now, I'm a citizen in a non-Muslim country. If this country is attacked, So every citizen should defend the country, right? In Islam, non-Muslim is living among the Muslims. The country is under attack. He is not obligated to defend the country. Are you following? It is the duty of the Muslims to defend him. Not that he should go and defend us. So our children will be dying on the front line, and his children are sleeping in peace with him. Do you find this anywhere? You do not find this. This only you find in Islam. Where the Muslims are dying and their children are dying to defend you. Because it is the responsibility of the Muslims to protect you, protect your children, protect your property, etc. So here the Prophet ﷺ, when he said, then if there is a stumbling block on the way, then you remove it. And when you fight in the name of Allah, for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he told him, do not take unduly from the booty, nor break any treaty. If you sign any treaty, don't break it. You maintain that treaty. You know, when the Prophet ﷺ, he signed the treaty with Quraysh, he didn't break it. They are the ones who broke the treaty. Nor mutilate the dead. In Islam, when there is fight with the rejectors of truth, you don't mutilate the dead bodies. You know mutilation? Cutting the limbs. You are not allowed to do that in Islam. Nor kill the children. See the ethics in Islam? The ethics of war, the morals of war, do not kill children. See the contemporary wars. Children are killed, women are killed, places of worship are destroyed. The Prophet ﷺ, he would tell, do not kill the children, do not kill the elders, do not destroy synagogues or churches or monasteries. All these things you leave those people. Only those who come in your way and they are carrying the arms to stop you. Are you following? So there are ethics, there are morals in Islam. When you meet your enemies who are not untested, they are polytheists, invite them to 3 alternatives. Give them the options. Invite them to receive the guidance. We don't want it. Okay, second option. You can carry on doing this, and you have to give the tax, and we will be protecting you. And let us take it to the others. No, stumbling block, then he should be removed. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, invite them to accept Islam. If they agree to accept Islam, then you tell them about the privileges that they are going to get. They will have portion of the booty, the spoils of the war, and they have to go to Medina, okay, and live with the immigrants. But if they decide not to do so and stay in their places in Arabia, then they will not have portion of the booty or the spoils. Invite them to accept Islam. If they agree to accept Islam, ask them to leave their homes and migrate to the lands of Muhajirin. That's the Medina. Because in the beginning, the hijrah was a must to Medina. Because that's how you were building the state. So you need to have built up the community. But after the conquest of Mecca, the Prophet ﷺ said, La hijrah. There is no hijrah. You don't migrate from Mecca anymore. Because now it is purely the home of Islam. Tell them after that, after migration, they shall be entitled to get all the privileges and obligations of the Muhajirin. If they refuse to migrate, then make it clear that they will have the status of Bedouin Muslims. Bedouin Muslims. They will not have portion of the booty and the spoils. And shall be subjected to the commands of Allah like other Muslims. They will be just treated like any other Muslim. They will not have these privileges. But they shall not get any share from the booty or returns of the war unless they fight on the Muslims' side. If they do not confess Islam, then impose the jizya. And as we mentioned, jizya is something very symbolic and something really nominal. And if they comply with that, then restrain. You protect them and grant them the freedom. But if they refuse to give the jizya, then seeks Allah's help, and they say, and we will not allow you to take this guidance, then this block and stumbling block and barrier needs to be removed. And if you are sieging a fort, castle, and then the people, they ask, okay, you grant us the protection. You grant us the protection. What should you do? The Prophet ﷺ said, when you lay siege to a fort and they besiege the people themselves of the city, appeal to you for protection in the name of Allah and His Prophet, do not do so. But tell them, I will give you my own protection. Don't give them the guarantee of Allah and His Messenger. Give them the guarantee on behalf of yourself and behalf of the Muslims who are with you. For it is a lesser sin. Why? Because if something happened, someone from among you, he broke the promise, at least that would be a lesser sin because you grant them your own protection, not Allah's protection and His Prophet. So that's what he said. For it is a lesser sin that the security provided by you and your companion is disregarded than the security granted to them in the name of Allah and His Prophet. So for that reason, tell them, no, I'm only granting you my protection. I'm going to grant you the protection and my companions. Then he said, when you besiege a fort and the besieged want you to let them out in accordance with Allah's command, do not let them come out in accordance to Allah's command. Because you never know. You never know that what your decision, is it in accordance to Allah's command or not. But you have to tell them, you have to come out according to my own command. But to do so and tell them that you have to come out according to my own command. For you do not know whether or not you'll be able to carry out Allah's best and Allah's command with regard to them. So this is the hadith in Sahih Muslim regarding the protection of Allah's covenant. So when you give a promise, you need maintain your words and fulfill the covenant. So my dear brothers and sisters, this brings us to the end of chapter 63 of Kitab Tawheed. May Allah accept our deeds and your deeds, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase our knowledge in the deen. Ameen. We will be covering Kitab Tawheed in the coming episode. Looking forward to seeing you. Till then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.